It's been 4 years. Hey YouTube, Brian LCS, and thanks for stopping by the channel. And this video, my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. So we're gonna do something probably a little bit different. Just talk about the 4 years, what I've learned in the last 4 years of being on YouTube, in the comic book community, creating content, and we'll kind of see where it goes, right? Um, and I have some notes. I have some notes because I wanted to. I thought a little bit about this before I made the video, because I was thinking, why did I start comic book content on YouTube? And I think it's the main reason, and a lot of people talk about this, is it's the being able to find like-minded people, right? Typically we don't have typically comic book collectors and other type of collectors often don't have somebody close to them, a friend, a family member, who shares the love of the hobby of comic books or whatever you may collect. And so I was lucky enough, when I first started collecting, that I had a few friends that were into comic books. And we were able to trade books and talk storylines and things like that. And so, but obviously, as you get older, those friends that I am still friends with, those friends from our teenage years, but we've grown apart. We live in different parts of the country, so I don't have that opportunity to really talk to them a lot about comics. Um, I think that's kind of the main reason, right? That like-minded, finding people that like the same stuff you do, and you can connect with them and talk about it, right? So that's kind of number one that I've learned. The second thing is that people will come and go, right? People will come and go from the community, whether it's in your chat, whether it's watching your videos, whether it's other creators, right? I have seen a number of creators who have, had channels, successful channels, and have gone away for whatever reason. And typically it's personal reasons, right? Other things become a priority in life. And let's face facts. This is a hobby. It's something we do in our free time. It's something we do out of enjoyment. But sometimes other things take priority. Work, family, whatever it may be, health, whatever the issue may be. And so I think that's the thing, is not to not to get too concerned with people that you haven't seen in a while. I mean, obviously reach out, maybe check in with them and see how they're doing, but people will come and go. Like I said, from a creator standpoint, from a watching your content standpoint, life, life happens, right? So and the hobby, any hobby, becomes secondary, becomes a much lower priority in life. And so that's certainly something that you have to deal with, because sometimes you wonder where did these people go. So the third thing I think I've learned, and more recently, is that not everyone is here for the same reasons, right? um, there are some people that want to become YouTube famous, right? They think their channel is going to be, you know 40, 50,000 subs and make all kinds of money. And there are some people that have achieved that in the comic book community. But they kind of have a bigger reach, and their content is really geared towards a broader audience, right? It's not simply just comic book hauls and things like that. And that's fine if that's your goal. I would certainly like my channel to be as big as possible. Um, but I have a 9 to 5. I'm not expecting that my YouTube, career and income will replace anything, other than just maybe, it being, like I said, being a hobby, right? And some people do use it as a business, right? There are a number of channels, that sell books, and that's their main business, right? You think of Comic Tom, Bry's Comics. Those are two that kind of just come off the top of my head. they are in the comic book business of selling, buying and selling books, and that's how they make their living. That's not for me. That's not what I do, right? Like I said, I have a 9 to 5 job, and then there are other, some other people that come on to create content that maybe is a little bit more edgy, the drama side, and that is their, I can't believe that that's their goal, that they want to create drama, but they know that that obviously gains attraction, views. People kind of flock to that type of stuff because people like to gossip, like to know what's going on, like to see the, you know, the the dust up a little bit here and there when people get into it or have disagreements. So that's the third thing. Not, like I said, not everybody is here for the same reason. Um, the fourth thing, and I'm looking off at my notes here. The fourth thing, and I had to reread it for a second, is that I personally don't believe the people who say I don't care about subs or views. Because I hear a lot of people, not a lot, but I hear some people say that, but their actions speak different than that, where they are, trying to share out their video, in the number of chat groups or Discord or wherever. And they're obviously celebrating milestones and doing giveaways and things like that. And so I don't really believe that when people say that, oh, I don't care about subs or views. We're competitive. Human beings are competitive by nature. You want to do well for yourself, right? I have certainly caught myself looking at somebody else's channel and saying, hey, I wonder how many subs they have. How well is their content doing? And I certainly look at other channels and see what things they're doing that are successful. And maybe that's something that I could incorporate into my channel. And so, um, I think I have said that in the past where I don't care about subs and views, but I check it. I check it. I'm seeing how my videos are doing. I want my videos to do well. I notice when a video doesn't do well, and I notice when a video does well, and then saying, well, the video that really did well, can I duplicate that somehow and maybe do other videos that are similar to that so that my content does well? I think we compare ourselves, right? In the age of social media, it's who's got the bigger, we're posting vacations and food and new purchases and all that kind of stuff. And we certainly do that in the collecting community, right? We're showing off the books that we're picking up or the cards or whatever it may be. And so we compare ourselves to others all the time. So if you say, I don't care about subs and views, I don't believe you. And number 5, this is probably the best piece of advice that I ever received on YouTube, because I certainly struggle sometimes with my free time producing content, and then the other priority things that I have in my life, my family, work, and watching other people's content. And I think it was John's Comics with Kids who said this to me. And this is really some of the best advice I had ever really heard, is supporting the small channels, right? Support the small channels because they're the ones that need it the most, right? Whether it's a new channel just starting out or a channel that is struggling to gain, views and subscribers, because your support of that channel may be the reason why they keep going. And I think in comic books and in the collecting hobby as a whole, we want this to continue. We want there to be more comic books. We want the hobby to continue on, beyond us. And so supporting those small channels will really help, bring in more channels, I think, but also keep those channels going. Giving them, a comment, a watch, a like will give them, in most cases, the energy to continue on, right? So support the small channels. And John, thank you for that. But don't forget the bigger ones, right? I think there are, and I don't know what you constitute for me. A big channel is a couple thousand subs. I know we have some bigger channels within the community. You think of Gem Mitt, Reggie Collects, Comic Tom, Comics with Bueller, and then even some of the bigger channels, Comics Explained. There's some really really big channels. Don't forget those channels, right? Because show them some love when you can, right? Maybe it's popping into their live stream or whatever it may be. Or if you're a smaller channel, don't be afraid to reach out to those bigger channels. If you've got a live stream or an interview or, an idea that you want to do for a video or a live stream, don't forget to invite some of the bigger channels. And I don't really consider my channel a big channel. I'm 2,500 subscribers, but I have seen where people don't kind of reach out to me as much because my channel is kind of where it's at. But I'm more than happy to come on and hang out and talk comics or whatever the topic may be. So, I think it's that balance, right? Support those small ones, but like I said, don't forget about the bigger channels. And lastly, my sixth kind of point is have fun, right? This is supposed to be fun. It's a hobby. It's what we spend our free time on, our free money on. And so if it's not fun, then it's probably, time to move on, right? If you're not enjoying it, if producing content is becoming a chore or you're, struggling and stressing over ideas for content, then it's probably time to take a break. Just keep that in mind, right? Because it's for most of us, we don't really make any money doing this, and so to spend all of your free time, stressing over something that's really, in the grand scheme of things, not that important, you shouldn't do that. Let's have fun. Let's get back to having fun. And we seem to have waves of drama and controversy within the community. And look, we have different pockets of the community. We're a niche community anyway, and then we have these even smaller pockets within that niche of people that kind of run together, which is fine, which is understandable, because at the end of the day, you cannot support and watch everybody's content, and so you're going to gravitate to people that you're friendly with or content that you like the most, right? If you're a DC person, you're going to watch some DC stuff. If you're a Marvel guy, you're going to watch Marvel. If you like indies, so you're going to find your kind of little pocket of content that you enjoy watching. So yeah, just remember, have fun. So that was kind of my notes that I kind of took about my 4 years on YouTube. I can't believe it's 4 years. It doesn't seem like 4 years. And we're coming up on the 5th year of the CBC Awards. And so that's kind of what, kind of wrapping this video up, because I've been rambling. What's next? What are we going to do in year 5, right? We're going to continue the CBC Awards. We've already been meeting, with this year's committee and making some changes. So that'll be, we'll have some news in May, and then nominations open up in June. So, we're going to full speed ahead with the Comic Book Community Awards. So looking forward to that, and seeing, how things are going to go this year, what the reception is in year 5. Felt like we hit a little bit of a speed bump in year 4 with some of the comments that I made during the live stream. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that people will still be on board, and we can have fun, right? Have fun. That's and then really, from a channel perspective, content perspective, I'm going to continue to make videos that I enjoy making, and I'm going to try to start focusing more on characters that I really like. And my main man, Spider-Man, will be front and center, creating some more content, maybe some deep dives on some of the Spider-Man content, some of the the comics that are coming out, and maybe some history and things like that. I mean, I enjoy doing that and learn about some of the gaps in my knowledge of Spider-Man history, right? Because there's a long history of Spider-Man. So I'm going to kind of, jump into that and kind of deep dive into some more Spidey stuff. So that's pretty much the goal going forward. But I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, who's a subscriber, who's stuck with me, who has watched my content, who supports the Comic Book Community Awards, who has supported some of the other things that I've done, the Kickstarter and the comic books that I've done. I really do appreciate that. It's amazing, amazing to be a part of the good side of the community. I mean, you think of the generosity within the community with AOKs and mail calls and giveaways. The amount of stuff that books and goodwill that is being shared among a good portion of our community is simply amazing. And so, I can't thank everybody enough. And so, 4 years in, and I'm looking forward to year 5, but going to try to take what I've learned and shape my focus going forward. So, but that's what I've got for you. Again, thank you so much, and let me know. Drop me a comment if you've stayed with me. Let me know what of the 6 points that I mentioned. What do you think? What do you think's most important to be, to stick around in the long haul on YouTube in this crazy comic book community? What do you think is most important, or what's most important to you? Why did you start a channel, or why are you watching comic book content here on YouTube? So thanks so much for watching, and again, all of the support of my channel, and we'll see you soon.